Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I am Jason, your host. Let's talk about the Quest 3 versus the Index. The Index is a win, hands down, right from the start. Spoiler alert, yeah. The Quest 3 has so many issues. It does a lot of stuff right, but first of all, the meta experience, the Facebook experience, the closed garden approach, that I don't agree with. I don't like Meta. I don't like Facebook. I don't like the way that games studios are hired by Meta and then their stuff goes closed garden. About the only thing that we don't see that with is Beat Saber because it came out first on PCVR, I believe. So I don't think that me switching to the Quest 3 in any way aligns me with Meta. I hate their fucking guts, to put it lightly. Their version of the metaverse is bullshit. VRchat is a far better example of a nexus of all different things. For God's sake, they couldn't even get feet right or legs right or realise why they were important over at fucking Meta. They're idiots. They've thrown so much money into it, and what have they got out? Their horizons, and that is a laughing joke. So sorry, I do not like Meta. This is why I always use the Index. The Index is simple. You plug it in directly into PC VR, directly into Steam VR, and it just works. No extra layer of software, no extra layer of things to cause latency, no issues. I would still be using the Valve Index now if it wasn't for me being mid-50s and my eyesight, pardon me, not as good as it used to be, and I notice eye strain when using the Fresnel style lenses. That is the only reason I've moved. Health concerns and the simple fact that because I use VR as a mental health treatment and it has to be done every day, it isn't a hobby, it isn't a niche, it's part of my actual mental health treatment. It's written down. For God's sake, Beat Saber, Skyrim, VR, and actual VRchat are mentioned in my actual medical notes as part of my treatment for a lot of the issues I have. So I can't mess around. I can't play favourites. I can't stick with something if it's affecting me. The hand controllers, the Quest 3 hand controllers, I hate. Sorry, I hate them. They're too small. I prefer the Quest 2 ones, even them were too small. I've got big hands, and my hands, the grips on the Valve Index are so much longer and more comfortable than it feels like the Quest 3 controllers were designed around people that have really small hands. And the Quest 3 controllers do not track as well as the Quest 2 controller. Quest 2 had that ring above, that halo above, that helped with tracking. The Quest 3 controls, the basic controls, do not. I am 6 foot. If I stand in the middle of the room and put my hands straight the way down using the normal Quest controllers, then they will lose sync because the cameras on the actual Quest 3 do not see where my hands are when I'm relaxed comfortably at my side. That's why I spent £300 extra to get the Quest 3 Pro, the Quest Pro controllers, because they have XYZ cameras built into them. They have their own inside out tracking, so they, once synced with the Quest 3, work better. The Bobo VR head strap is amazing, because the head strap that comes with fucking the Quest 3 and the Quest 2 is absolutely chronic. It is a running joke. I introduced some people earlier this year to the Quest 3. They were ifing and awing about getting different things, and they finally settled on the Quest 3. And well, I warned them. I said, you need to get a head strap for it. You need to get something other than what's on there, because it's a jock strap. And they were laughing because they're Americans and they know what jock straps are and all that. And the first message I got back from them, because their Quest 3 arrived, they got a special deal on it. Their Quest 3s arrived before the Bobo VR head strap thing. And the first thing they said, oh my God, it is a jock strap. And it's horrible, and it's uncomfortable, and it's thingy. I said, yep, you'll get better. You never had any of that with the Index. You never had any of that with the Index at all. The Index, from the moment I got it, was one of the most comfortable and well-designed headsets I've ever used. And I've used the Vives, I've used Oculus stuff, the original CV1. I've even used little things like the freaking Gear VR and stuff like that. I've tried Pimax and the Index out of the box has the most comfortable whole thing. Sound on the Index is world class, is studio class, is something that you can use to watch movies. I tell you, it's stunning to watch movies and listen to them, the audio, to when you've got full Dolby and all that going on, and you watch something like Infinity Wars Endgame, sitting in the middle of your room with the headset on, and that, it's stunning. But the lens is age. That is once again, the lenses are the only part of the puzzle that didn't last, and that's a known thing. It's generations behind now on that. Everything else, if those lenses were changeable for pancake lenses, then yeah, that's all they needed to do. Just do that, and yeah, you've got a fucking. I would buy that in a heartbeat. But that's where the Quest 3 wins. And it's such a big part of VR and a big part of my use that it wins categorically. When you use something like a Quest 3 or a Pimax Crystal, and the lenses, you have no longer got this little tiny bloody sweet spot in the center that you've got to focus on. The entire lens is a sweet spot. There's no Fresnel, there's no distortion. You are looking through the entire lens. Your eyes don't have to strain, your eyes don't have to look at a specific point. You don't have to position the headset absolutely fucking perfect to get everything right. So, unfortunately, because of that one point, I have to change over to a Quest 3. This is not me endorsing the Quest 3 for other people. This is for my personal use. Even though the Valve Index is coming up 6 years old, I would choose that for anybody who was younger than me, whose eyesight wasn't being strained by it. Because even though the lenses are ancient, the rest of it just so well done that I adore it. And you haven't got any spyware, and you haven't got anything tracking your metrics or anything like that, because it is all just U plus PC VR. Now, before we go, let's talk about the other bonus that the Quest has. That's wireless. Wireless is nice, but you've got to make sure you've got a fucking rock solid wireless connection in your house. And there's lots of issues and cutouts if you don't set it up absolutely perfectly for the Quest 3. So it's a positive because of not having a cable. I do have this cable here. There's a cable here that I've got set up for using it via Link, the Quest 3, but thankfully I get to use Virtual Desktop instead. So what else can I say? I've done everything I can to have the longevity of the Valve Index, and it is still a better headset in nearly every single way than the Quest 3. So this is the problem with Meta and all that. They don't realise that when you're talking VR, it just isn't about the visuals. It's about the whole experience. It's about putting everything together and it just working. On the positive side, I've noticed that I can do more Beat Saber. I can be in VR more without my eyes getting tired now. Over the last few days, I've put in quite a lot longer, and I've started playing a lot of my games that I had stopped playing in VR again because my eyes just feel better. And I don't feel as if I'm actually... the reason I'm stopping now is because my arms are aching or I want to sit down, not because of my eye ache. So, this is Jason for the Queber channel. I hope you have a wonderful, splendiferous day.